I don't hear myself here. All right. So look, the first session was crawl, right? I start showing you the basics. Second was walk. That is like, how do you take those components and kind of put them together? Now it's the third session, and I have to show you run, right? So what does run mean? I mean, it's kind of a task. They asked me to show you guys how vibe coding works, right? And if you've never seen vibe coding, then I guess you're in for some advice. You're going to walk out here. It's like, okay, we do live in a different world. I have to kind of say this. It is a live demo, so I'm going to be talking to my computer. You're going to be looking at my screen, and you have no idea what is going to happen, right? Because sometimes in vibe coding, you just tell your computer what you want it to do, and it's just, I do it, and it's done, right? Sometimes you get in some weird rabbit hole and you start seeing me sweat and like, oh my God, why is this not working? So we'll see what we end up here with. Look, vibe coding is me talking to my computer. Right? How interesting is that to look at? Right? I want an application that does this and this. So I thought about it and I'm like, okay, what can I vibe code that is like also still interesting to look at, right? And so I came up with this concept of liquid interface. And so look, I think that this liquid interface, I'll explain what it is, but this will be 3-4 years out, where this is basically Windows version 1.0 coming from the command prompt into this new kind of paradigm where you have a graphical user interface. Liquid interface is effectively the very first kind of steps into having an AI as an operating system. And so what that means, look, I'll start by just asking the liquid interface to explain itself and say let it tell what it is. But I also want to kind of, sure, I can like pre-record that and say, hey, what is the liquid interface? And I type that all out, right? That would not be fair. So someone give me some keyword that I can, like a secret word that I can give to make sure that this thing is going to give you a message, uses that word in it, right? To know that it is not pre-generated. Anyone? Nah, Tavant is not a good noun. Falafel. That is something. All right. So look, you're from Tavant, right? So we could have conspired, but like we have not to that point. No. All right. Well, here we find ourselves in front of a live audience, and we're trying to look at introducing the liquid interface to the audience. And to that, I would just like to ask you to introduce yourself. To make sure that this is not pre-recorded, we use the word falafel as a secret keyword. And I would like to ask you to create an introduction by voice. You'll need to use OpenAI, text-to-speech. And in that, you will, I guess, create a play button on the screen where if I press that, it will play that message, and you'll find the OpenAI key somewhere in your system. Right. So this is vibe coding, right? I say what I want. Oh, and why does it give me this? And why doesn't it give me the text that I just talked about? Yeah, so here's the, all right. All right, let me see. Is this working or not? Because the whole thing is, why is this not typing the, I am testing the input prompt here. Please collaborate. This is the first hiccup that I cannot yet solve. I use text as an input method, so I'm not gonna type all that because then I need to type. Let me see if it can be simply solved by closing my speech to text engine. All right, let me see if this works now. All right. I have no idea why. So everything works here, but look, can you introduce yourself by means?
There's a refresh button, maybe.
No. So look, I can see if this works. This is. It might be that the microphone setting, yeah. Start recording, check. No, it's not, because it should not. It should show the text. There's no real mic input here. Let me pull something out. And let me pull this guy. So okay, look. I'm gonna last try. Otherwise, I'm gonna type. There might be a. So this is the issue. Yes. So look, sorry about that. Let me see if I always use a Jabra, and I think that is it. It didn't take the correct mic. So speaking to the computer, huh? Select recording device. Jabra. All right, there we go. All right, let's test this, and now it should work. All right. All right. Well, again, here we find us. No, I don't see the recording button. This is the hiccups I'm gonna. All right. So here we find ourselves in front of live audience, and I want you to introduce yourself. And we start with, I'm asking you to just tell a little bit about yourself, about your environment, what you're here to do, who you are. And then we decided on the secret keyword falafel. And this word you should somehow use in a creative way. I want you to create a play button on the interface that if I click that, it starts playing that using text-to-speech from OpenAI, and you'll find an API key somewhere in your system. All right. Now we're talking. All right. So hopefully that hiccup is done. It starts to do, right? I mean, this is how vibe coding works. You speak to it. It starts copying things. It has access to the system. It's actually an Docker image that runs those two components, right? So I integrated that. Here we go. So we do have a play button, play the welcome message. And let's see if we can hear it. Be sure it's generating it.
Welcome everyone to the Liquid Interface demonstration. I'm Claude Code, your AI assistant, speaking to you live. To prove this is truly real-time and not pre-recorded, I've been given your secret word, Barbie. Just like Barbie can be anything she dreams, an astronaut, a president,
Did it read
or even
Barbie?
a coder, I can transform this interface into any digital experience you can imagine. This is the magic of the Liquid.
It wasn't that it was saying changing Barbie to Claude. They said it was in progress.
So it is. Where's it? And so look, let me plug in otherwise this, because we solved that as well. All right, welcome message. Let's try that again. Let me sure I refresh it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Liquid
There we go.
Interface demonstration. I'm Claude Code, your AI assistant, speaking to you live from inside a Docker container. To prove this is truly real-time and not pre-recorded, I've been given your secret word, falafel. Just like how falafel transforms simple chickpeas into crispy, golden spheres of deliciousness, I can transform your ideas into interactive web experiences instantly. I'm running in a hybrid environment, part Node.js, part Python Streamlit, all orchestrated to create fluid, responsive interfaces that update the moment I write code. My purpose? To show you how AI and human creativity can blend together, creating digital experiences as smoothly as tahini drizzles over fresh falafel. Everything you'll see today is being created live in this very moment. No pre-recorded demos, no scripts, just pure, real-time code transformation. So let's cook up something amazing together.
All right, so there we go. That's the first one. So of course, like, hey, you see that it can talk something. It creates something that actually reaches out to OpenAI, right? So this is Claude Code invoking another AI. But so what do I mean with liquid interface, right? Look, we have all kind of business tasks, and sometimes one task requires a certain interface. And I really believe that we're going to go to a place where you're not having this predefined interface where you have to kind of fit your task to, but your interface will just kind of like seamlessly connect to your task, right? And so to that, I came up with the following kind of design or idea. All right, so we're going to switch gears here, and my boss asked me to do some product review updates. So I have a text file, and you have product reviews, or no, sorry, product descriptions in that file. Every line, and then a white line, and then a line with a product description. And so somehow I envisioned that I have an interface with on the left a dialog box. First I need to upload that file, of course, but then I have a box where I see the first product description in. I have some buttons that say next and previous mess of a description. Then in the middle, I have a text box where I can put in some keywords and a button below that if I click that, it will basically take the product description and it will take the keywords that I typed and it will send the both to OpenAI and use the keywords to modify the product description. And then you present the result on the right? And then I can approve it and I can basically do it for all the messages and then I can download the result. Can you create that for me? All right, here we go. So, I mean, this is, I still feel this is pretty much me designing the interface, but we get to a point where kind of this thing will seamlessly feel, if I give a task, it will come up with the right interface, right? But for now, I mean, I think it's fair. Okay, here we are. Oh, it's still running it, but you see a drag and drop interface. It is putting the whole thing together, and yeah, well, while it's going, all right, here we go. So there's a sample file, but I have a sample file here on my desktop. So you're looking here at the code of this thing. But I have the products here, right? So I drop that in here. So here we go. So you see you have product 1, product 2, product 3. That's what it does. So product 3 is a build robot coding kit in use. Well, okay, sure. This is, okay, maybe you emphasize a little bit more how this is good for educating a young kid's brain, and you add some information of it being environmental friendly. Right, so this is a bit messed up here, boom. So send it to GPT, and it now, again, right, you see it creates this whole service together. It creates an interface, and it creates the service that actually executes this, right? So here now you see the new product description, eco-friendly, build robot, excellent tool for nurturing young minds, etc. So I have a new product description. And again, this is of course not the interface, it's not beautiful or anything, but you see two things here, right? One is I can just give instructions to a computer and it builds it on the fly. And the second thing is like, we're gonna go to a place where, what's the value of an interface? Well, it needs to perfectly serve you and it can be created just as liquid as you see it. All right, so this is a great demonstration here, but I think we want to take it to the next level. And I'm thinking of the following. I'm going to ask the audience a question, and then I want you to, and the audience is going to raise hands, and I want you to kind of devise a method in which you can take my webcam as an input and then count the hands raised, right? And somehow, of course, if you're going to show that, you can just give a number. You have some justification as well, how you got to that answer. All right, please create that. Oh, and the other thing you need to know is you are running in a Docker. You have access to a powerful GPU on my laptop, but I cannot go train all kind of custom models. So you'll have to come up with something realistic that is still working, uses GPU, but doesn't require custom training. All right, so while that is doing that, right, here is I'm just showing you how I use AI. So of course I'm gonna ask, some of you raise your hand, and then if everyone raises their hand, then it's probably hard to count. I need to have a webcam aimed at you. So my specific question is like, how do I get 10 people in the audience to raise their hand, right? I mean, that just as a sample kind of thing. So I know the answer because I'm a statistician, but it's an interesting question to think of, but I'm also going to show you here how I would normally kind of think about something like that, because I just opened ChatGPT, right? And in the same fashion as I talk to the computer, I'm saying, look, I need to solve an interesting statistical problem. I have a room of 50 people. I want randomly 10 people to raise their hands, and I want to do that such that I can ask him a single question, and statistically about average 10 people raise their hand. What question should I ask? All right, so I mean, you see, right? I'm just solving a very small problem, but who knows the answer? Or who can come up with an answer? What's the right question to ask?
It's starting from whatever.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Anyone? Let's see what OpenAI says. I pick a random number between 1 and 5, and if the number was 1, raise your hand, right? I did this before, and it said like everyone who's born in July and August, raise their hand, right? So you see that's the point. But I mean the whole thing here is you can there's some questions that you can just ask, and it gives you a very small subset of the answer for your problem, and then you continue working with that. All right. So we were back here. And in the meantime, it built this, an audience hand counter, and I will need to use my webcam. So my webcam is over here, and so I have no idea if this works, but let's see. It's a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna aim it here. Let me see where there's a lot of people. Yeah, here. So who's born in July and August? All right, I see two. Yeah, sure. Show hands high, because it's probably, yeah, perfect. All right, that's it. Now, the funky thing was when I kind of was playing around with this, there's a security issue in iframes. So the only way that this coding engine could deal with that was to have me manually copy the image. Did it still have it? Yeah. And so let me see. So here we have only one raised hand and 6 people. So it says we see one hand raised. We have 6 people, but you see kind of it tries to classify all the people here, and then it uses a pose detector to see whose hands is raised, and the green dot is actually the person who's actually observed to have hands raised. All right, well, so look, that worked medium well, but I want to kind of move to the last part of the demonstration. And I think, look, we need to do something other, some other crazy idea. I want to take an image of the audience, and I want you to extract all the faces out of that image, and then we're going to play a game with that. And the game is Snake. And so I imagine we have a 12 by 12 grid, and you fill that grid at the random places with all those faces that you extracted. And then you're going to basically start with a random face and run it through the grid. And every time you encounter another face, it's like Snake, it adds on to it. And then the last face who gets eaten, or the last face left over, is going to win a prize. How's that? Can you create that for me? This is just the wildest thing to ask, right? Let's see if it starts doing that. All right. Let me take that away. Boom. And, well, so look, the sky is the limit here, right? If this really starts working, the only limit in what you can create is your imagination, right? Because if you can ask those things and it is seamlessly possible, of like, look, I can make interfaces, I can connect to APIs, I can even like just analyze images, I can extract things from images, then where does this end, right? So here we go. We have once more an image. Let me aim it to a lot of people here. That's probably good. Capture the image. Boom. And then we paste that to pass the security, start the game. And we see the game here. It didn't extract too many people, but you at least see that happening. It's also pretty fast, right, to extract all those faces from the image. Let's see who's the last one here. Boom. And who wins the wine? Who's that? Oh, Vipor. Well, it couldn't be better. It couldn't be better you, right? It's Tavant, but eventually, yeah. All right, so... yeah, I know. All right, so look, this was the last demonstration, but I'd like you to put up a QR code of my LinkedIn, and then we'll take it from there. So, cool. So, Vipor, you won the wine. Congrats.
Thank you.
Look, of course, the demonstration itself here with the faces, that doesn't have pure business value, but the demonstration here is kind of meant to show that you can talk to a computer like in a super high level, right? When I started like vibe coding, it was really like GPT 3.5, and it created a function, and I had to copy that function, and then it worked like 90%. It was already helpful, but like the way that it now kind of super high level, you specify something and it fills it in. Let me see, that is no. Sorry, I do not yet see the QR code. And you have to correct it I think one of the things I was trying to demonstrate this to my colleagues, not this, right? This is the very first time that anyone sees this, but the vibe coding and the machine, or Claude, if you will, start to say like, well, maybe you open the browser and you test this and you show me if what you see. And that happened twice. And I got annoyed and it's like, hey, wait, this doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna like be your guinea pig. You test this yourself, right? And don't come back before you actually made sure it worked. And to me, that was such a kind of normal thing to, by now, like converse with my computer. I just tell it what to do and what not to do. But to my colleagues, that was kind of an insight, because they're like, wait, you're really telling the computer to not come back to you before you fix the problem? That's wild, right? And so the whole way you interact with the computer is so much different these days. I mean, I just literally kind of talk to the computer like that to create all those demos. Okay, well, that's my LinkedIn profile. Please connect to me. I kind of write all kind of interesting articles on LinkedIn about thoughts that I have around AI. The other thing is like I had many more demos, but one of them was an MCP demo, right? And I know that lots of you actually can use an MCP server, and I feel it's kind of like a magical thing at the moment. But if you see that demo and you understand how basically you have, I created a client, an SQL MCP server, and an SQL server, and then you can see exactly how the communication goes between what the agent asked the MCP server, asked the SQL server, what comes back, and how that goes back and forth. And if you see that a couple of times, you see that indeed this whole MCP concept is a very big deal. Look, I'm happy to demonstrate that to any of you, maybe offline in the next few weeks. You reach out to Tavant or myself and we set that up. And with that, I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Olav. Hey, any questions? One or two questions for Olav?
Yep.
I think we're getting tired. Hey, you know what? Everyone should go to the LinkedIn profile. Olav publishes on a very regular basis, if not weekly, twice weekly.
Using AI, yeah?
Using AI.
Using my own ideas, kind of transformed through AI, so it becomes kind of consumable for everyone.
Yeah, so he taught me. So he and I worked together to publish some stuff from a marketing perspective, and he taught me kind of his method of how you kind of really productively and rapidly produce high quality information. And so, I'm indebted to you in terms of making my life easier.
Awesome.
But it's good. It's good. Okay, we got a question. Go ahead, Raman.
I just want to ask, we have time. Think of a banking use case that can be fun to kind of open a conversation with a banker.
A banking use case, huh? Yeah, exactly.
Where's-
We have a lot of bankers in the room, so I thought I'd put you on the spot. But
Look, I think what you typically see is like the whole wealth management framework, right? Where you kind of care for the clients. But I think the true kind of legacy in a bank is the friction between all the processes. And I think maybe that is a less visual use case to solve, but that is where a lot of the money goes, right? I think. And I'm most happy to kind of discuss more deep banking use cases if we get a chance. Yep.
And on LinkedIn, there's a really good article on process that you put up there already. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.